Hello, my name is Indira Shaiju, and I just wanted to talk to you today about my RE journey and my struggles, how I was diagnosed, what were my symptoms, and what were the different treatment strategies that I tried, and ultimately what helped me. And I want to do this because I want to give hope to other people out there who are currently, right now, suffering from RA or any other autoimmune disease that is debilitating and disabling and giving them a lot of pain, and they are looking for hope. And that's the reason I wanted to do this video, because when I was out there sick and in great pain and agony, and mentally very frustrated and depressed, the only thing that I was constantly searching for on the internet was for stories that actually, recovery stories or positive healing stories. Those were the things that I looked for, and those stories for me were like the lifeboat. It's like you're drowning and you're looking for something that you feel is ultimately going to help you. So that's the reason, now that I am better myself, I decided to do a video of my journey altogether, and I'll break it up into different parts. In today's episode, I'm just going to give you an overall view of what was it like when I was first diagnosed, to finally when I felt better, or currently when I'm really better, right? No pain. My hands and fingers and my shoulders and everything is really very close to normal, and I'm able to do all my day-to-day activities just like I was before my RE diagnosis. All right, so the first thing, how was it diagnosed, or when did it all begin? So what happened with me was, I was very active, super active, I should say, super busy mom of two children. My children at that time were 15 and 8 or 9, actually, 15 and 9 years old, with my son and daughter. I was having a full-time job. I worked as a pharmacist and a researcher with an insurance company, and I had a very extremely busy and stressful job. I was up on my toes from early in the morning, from 6:30 till about 11 at night, just doing different things, just like how a typical Indian working woman would do, whether they are in India or in the US. We just want to do it all, right? It's not just the career focus that we have, but we want to take care of our children, we want to cook healthy food for our families, and we just want to do it all. So that's how I was. I was, on my toes all the time, because I wanted to cook healthy meals for my family, for myself. I would, make sure the kids were attending all their activities after school. So I was there, I was a soccer mom, taking them around, driving them around to different things, and things like that. So basically busy, not only just Monday through Friday, but also on the weekends, because weekends were kids activities, and then also other social gatherings and things like that. And then all of a sudden, in 2015, spring, all of a sudden, all of these activities started coming to a halt, because what happened was, it was RE sprang on me really suddenly. One particular afternoon, I was at work, working on my laptop, and suddenly I felt like my wrist started hurting, and I started feeling also very, very feverish. So it was like that kind of flu kind of feeling, coming all over my body. I felt as if I was going to get sick, and that is how I decided to, I felt that there was something wrong with me, and I came home, and I decided to just pop a Tylenol or an Advil. Actually, I think I took an Advil because the pain was severe. And the day passed like that. But the very next day, I had more pain. Actually, my hip was hurting too, and then my hand started hurting really bad, that I was having problem even moving it, which felt really weird because this was very, very unusual. So I ended up in the urgent care, and they just diagnosed it as being tendinitis, which is nothing but a scientific term which says that it's inflammation of the tendons. And the doctor just brushed it aside, saying it was really nothing and it could be related to some activity, physical activity that I did the previous day. And so that was it. And I just went back, and within the next 2 days I was feeling better. So I felt like, okay, maybe that was it. But something in the back of my mind said that, oh, I don't think this was just it. I felt that it was going to come again, and I was right. Within the next 2 days, again I got pain, and this time it was a different part of my body. It was my shoulders, and the small shoulder bag that I was carrying, which was not very heavy, but within 5-10 minutes of carrying it, I would start getting pain, and my shoulders would hurt so badly that I would have difficulty even lifting them up and lifting my arm up, and I would have severe pain. And then the pain would progress, so it would start as slightly hurting, and then within a couple of hours it would increase so much that I would have like severe pain, that I would be literally in tears from the pain. And even strong painkillers like Aleve and Advil would not help. They would help a little bit, but not the pain would not go completely away. And then plus nighttime, it would be really bad, because I would wake up in the middle of the night with severe pain that made me feel as if there was something hitting on my shoulders, and it was really bad. That a couple of times we ended up in the emergency room in the middle of the night because of this pain. It's like at that time you don't know what is wrong with you. It is just this weird pain that you're just trying to figure out what is wrong with me. So I ended up in the emergency room. They did blood work and everything, and they are like, there's nothing wrong with you. At that time, I think they also did my RA factor, and my RA factor was also not positive. It was not over the limit where they would call it that I would have RA. So it was still under the normal range, or within the normal range. So they tested me for Lyme's disease, and everything came back negative. And then this kept on happening again and again. So I went to my physician and I said one day that, doctor, I need to see some kind of specialist. I don't know which specialist, but please send me to some specialist, because I don't know, there's something wrong with my body. It's like every other day I'm having pain in different parts of my body. It just happens to be a different joint. So it's one day it's the elbow, one day it's the wrist, one day it is the shoulders. And then the funny thing is, it would peak in intensity. I have severe pain for a couple days, and then gradually after I rest that joint, it would subside and it would go away completely. And then that was the scary and kind of weird part of it, where after 2 days the joint would be back to normal again. So then when I ended up going to the doctor, and I'll tell him that, oh, I had the severe pain a couple of days back, and then he would look at my joint, there would be no redness, there would be nothing there, and it would look very normal. And he's like, oh, I think it must have been because of something you did. But then I know, right, you know your body, I knew that there was something wrong, because it just cannot be normal. So fortunately, long story short, my physician finally sent me to a rheumatologist, who ordered a bunch of other tests, and that included some tests for viruses, as well as the repeat of the RA factor, as well as he asked for a test for anti-CCP. And that is a very important test because that measures the level of antibodies that are present in your body. And uh, that is the cause of your inflammation, that is the cause of your pain. So my blood work, when it came back, it said that the anti-CCP was greater than 250, which was insane because 250 is like the upper limit, and they don't even measure after 250, so they just wrote it as greater than 250, which was like, really over the roof. And that's how my doctor diagnosed me, the rheumatologist diagnosed me as having RE. So at that point, when I finally got a diagnosis, to be honest with you, I was actually happy. I was relieved that at least I have a diagnosis. It sounds like strange now, but I was actually relieved that I got some kind of diagnosis, because this 2 months, between the start of my symptoms and finally getting a diagnosis, they were hell, right? Because I was in pain, plus, not having any clue of what was wrong with me. So that was it, and I finally got a diagnosis of RA, and the rheumatologist started me on methotrexate.